Wow, it's raining cats and dogs now. No one says that anymore. But I learned it from my textbook. Hello, 大家好, I'm Grace. As a language learner myself, sometimes I would learn something from textbooks that in real life, native speakers seldom use. Yep, this is another word I learned from my English class. So today let's learn about Chinese phrases like this and what alternatives you can use. The first one is 你好吗? 你好吗? You might have learned this phrase as a greeting in Chinese. However, as a native Chinese speaker myself, I've never heard people greeting others using this phrase. So instead of saying 你好吗, you can greet people in the following ways. 你好, 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 你好. Hello. If you'd like to be more polite, you can say 您好. 您好. 您 is the polite form of 你. And if you'd like to greet a group of people, you can say 大家好. 大家好. To greet a teacher, you can say 老师好. 老师好. The structure is subject plus 好. Hi, hello, hey. Just like in English, in Chinese you can say hi, hello, or hey to greet your friends. If you want to greet a friend who you haven't seen for a while, you can say 好久不见. 好久不见. Long time no see.
Hi, 大家好久不见。
嗨，李小姐，好久不见。
是哦，关先生，好久不见。
When we are answering the phone, we often use 喂 as hello to greet people.
喂。
The second overused phrase is 很有意思. 很有意思. 你觉得那部电影怎么样? 很有意思. 你觉得昨天的中文课怎么样? 很有意思. 好. When you want to say 很有意思, here are some alternatives you can use. If you want to describe something that is fun, you can use the adjectives 有趣, 有趣, or 好玩, 好玩. For example, 昨天的活动很有趣. 昨天的活动很有趣. Or 昨天的活动很好玩. 昨天的活动很好玩. The event yesterday was fun. To describe a performance or show as wonderful, you can use 精彩, 精彩. For instance, 我看了你的钢琴表演，真的很精彩。我看了你的钢琴表演，真的很精彩。I saw your piano performance. It was awesome. If you want to express that something is very appealing and attractive, you can say 吸引人, 吸引人, or even more advanced, 引人入胜, 引人入胜, but it's more often used in writing. For example, 这部小说的情节非常吸引人。这部小说的情节非常吸引人。Or 这部小说的情节非常引人入胜。这部小说的情节非常引人入胜。The plot of this novel is very appealing. The next phrase is 马马虎虎, 马马虎虎. This one is very interesting because the English translation of 马马虎虎 is so-so, which is what I learned from my English textbook. But I rarely hear native English speakers use it. 马马虎虎 is the same. I haven't heard it used as so-so that much. However, it can be used to describe that someone does something casually or carelessly, or someone who is careless. For example, 他总是这么马马虎虎的。他总是这么马马虎虎的。He's always been this careless. So to express that something is just alright, it's neither very good nor very bad, instead of saying 马马虎虎, you can say 还可以,还可以,还好,还好, or 一般,一般。你觉得我做的饭怎么样？还可以啦。你觉得我做的饭怎么样？ How is my cooking? 还可以啦。It's okay. 我觉得那部电影还好，没有特别好看。我觉得那部电影还好，没有特别好看。Or you can say, 我觉得那部电影很一般，没有特别好看。我觉得那部电影很一般，没有特别好看。I think that movie was very average, not particularly good. The next phrase is 哪里哪里,哪里哪里。You might have learned that this phrase can be used as a response when someone gives you a compliment. However, in real life, I've never heard people responding a compliment using this. So when someone gives you a compliment, instead of saying 哪里哪里, there are 3 common responses. The first one is accepting the compliment by saying 谢谢, and we would usually add some comments after it. Like, 你的包包好美哦。谢谢，你的包包也很好看啊，在哪买的？你的包包好美哦。Your bag is so beautiful. 谢谢，你的包包也很好看啊，你在哪买的？ Thanks. Yours is also very pretty. Where did you buy it? The second way is showing your surprise by saying 是吗？是吗？ Or 真的吗？真的吗？This indicates that you didn't expect the compliment. For example, 你做的饭真好吃。真的吗？那我下次再做给你吃。没有啦，我开玩笑而已。你做的饭真好吃。The food you made is so good. 真的吗？那我下次再做给你吃。Really? Then I will cook for you again next time. 没有啦。我开玩笑而已。Nah, I'm just kidding. The third way is also very common, which is refusing to accept the compliment by saying 没有没有没有没有 or 没有啦没有啦。A lot of people use this way to show their modesty. For instance, 你的中文说的真好。没有没有，我觉得我还要多练习。你的中文说得真好。Your Chinese is very good. 没有没有，我觉得我还要多练习。No, I think I still need more practice. The final phrase for today is 再见。再见。再见 means goodbye, but just like the English word goodbye, 再见 is quite formal. It's usually said to a person who you are not close to. If you want to say goodbye to your friends, you can simply say bye bye, bye bye. Here are some common phrases that are often used with bye bye. The first one is 我先走了。我先走了。It means I'm leaving or I'm heading out. It's used when you're leaving ahead of others.
老手先走了。好。
When saying goodbye to others and you want to express that you'd like to meet or talk to the person again, in that case, you can say 下次再聊。下次再聊。Talk to you later. Or 有空再约。有空再约。We should hang out again sometime. For example,
我先走了，下次再聊，拜拜。
if you'd like to learn more about these types of daily Chinese phrases, remember to check out this video. Alright, that's all for today. 如果你喜欢今天的影片，别忘记按赞、订阅和分享哦。And also, if you'd like to learn some daily Mandarin expressions, check out my Instagram, Grace Mandarin. 那我们就下次见喽，拜拜。
Another lazy afternoon. The clouds covered in gray. Third coffee of the day. Almost fell asleep on Sim. I yawn at the display. Third meeting